Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Sunday. Today's the 23rd of March. I hope you are all doing well, staying out of trouble. For those who were able to watch the St. Jude auction, $30,000 was raised over last weekend and this weekend in support of the kids, uh, to support kids with cancer and the research that's happening there. So, outstanding job to that team. They did an amazing job as always. Um, huge shout out to Ida for all of her efforts. Amanda for the amazing spreadsheet and the work that she did cataloging all of those and putting the uh, images and videos together. Paula, Shannon, Mr. and Mrs. Coin Crew, Big Flip, Ashes, Silver Keys, Ringmaster Ray. There are so many people that came alongside to make that event what it was. Just a huge shout out to everybody for another successful event. So congratulations on that. Great job done. Joe, good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. So let's say hi to a few folks that are showing up in here, and then we'll kind of get into the generalized chit chat for today. We got a couple topics, just kind of random. What about? And then we'll open it up to questions. So, Siren, always thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the support from you as being a mod. Thank you so much. Des Logic, the Arcadian Carpenter. I still love that name, by the way. Des Logic, Magnuson. Thank you guys so much for being here. Jackalope, good day, sir. Hope you're doing well. Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker. Um, Saddened by the news this morning. Which news? I'm not sure which news you're talking about. Joe McBride, and again, thank you so much for being here. Uh, Enlighten me on the news this morning, please. Not sure what you're referencing. Um, Hope you all are doing well. I've got, like I said, I've got a couple of things. Eric is here. He stepped away to get some coffee. He'll be right back. Um, but now I'm curious about what's happening, Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker. I'm not sure what news. Oh, yeah. That was a couple days ago. We had Gremlin up yesterday talking about the situation. Um, yeah, that's extremely unfortunate. She had a battle with cancer. It metastasized into her spine, up into her brain, and for the last little while, she just was not doing very well. And Gremlin stayed in constant contact with the family. I'm sorry you just found out. It's definitely sad. She was a person who always tried to make people feel welcome in chats, and so the community definitely is going to miss her. Um, Very unfortunate. We've reached out to the family to find out what's going on. Gremlin has kind of been that. She's the community POC for this. Um, and so if you have any questions, go to Gremlin or Ashley, and she can tell you a little bit more about what's going on. I want to make sure that I don't offer any hearsay. You guys want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. But definitely a loss in the community. And so if you want, you can reach out to me. I'll give you information on how to get a hold of her if you want to send like a card or something, but we're not taking any money. We're asking everybody not to reach out to the family. They've said that they don't need anything, so let's honor that and make sure we stand by that. Dan McCumber, good day. Coin Junkie, what's up, my northern brother from another mother? Hope you're doing well. Cad Roll Hunter again. Um, I hope you guys are doing very well this morning. So I want to ask a question, and this is something I've had a couple people ask me in chat after um, a conversation that was held in Salivate Metals. Salivate said something about this, and I've had a couple people saying, "Hey, Frosty, what does he mean by rust spots on gold?" How many of you have ever seen red spots on gold? Oh, hold on just a second. Yeah, I dropped the ball on that. CAD roll hunter. Give me a second. I'll give you. I forgot to add those. That's me. Just a second. Let me add those. You back, Eric?
I'm here. Yeah.
How are you doing today, sir?
I am wonderful. And you?
Doing well, thank you. Trying to get these links because I forgot to put them in there. Okay. So what have you found out when you did your little quick look this morning
That it
regarding?
is oxidation of the copper alloy that's used to basically harden the gold. Uh, like you have 18 karat gold. And I'm not sure if you're talking about red spots on 99999 gold, because I don't think it would happen.
No, it's usually on pre-33 numismatic gold.
Right, 90%. So it's got copper in it. It's copper oxide. It's basically rust.
There you go, CAD roll hunter, and I apologize. I forgot to do that. Now they're both in there. Let me pin both of those. Yeah, so there you go. Outstanding. Um, yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And a lot of people, when they look at that, they're used to getting like these um, uh, PAMP bars, or maybe they're getting the Eagles, maybe they're getting the Buffaloes. And you may, because there's a very small percentage of copper in there, see it on some of those. But if you're looking at pre-33 or anything that's 8.5 or 0.85 or 0.90 or 0.925 gold, you have a mixture in there of silver and copper, and so that that copper is what actually causes that oxidation, and you get that kind of reddish rust color.
Right.
One of the questions that came about was, how do you get them off? And so the first thing I'll say is, I'm not a proponent of cleaning coins. Period. End
I
of
was
story.
going to say I
Yeah,
wouldn't. I would a gold coin. I would actually send if you really wanted it gone. I would send it out
for
and have
conservation.
it
Yeah,
professionally conserved. But I can tell you, like red spots on jewelry, a lot of people will do an alkaline bath. So let's say a cup of water, some baking soda, boil the water, put the gold in it, let it sit, rinse it off. That's a very non-invasive way. Other people will get more invasive and use vinegar and then use the alkaline. So that's acid and alkaline. Um, to me, I wouldn't. I would suffer with the red spot on the coin.
yeah. And see, that was so one of the things that I put in chat, and he was like, "Oh man, I don't know that I would do that." Um, if you look at the approved methods, now when I'm talking about conservation approved methods, um, one of the things that they were talking about was that it's okay to use pure acetone. Now, you don't want to use like fingernail polish because there's a lot of other chemicals in there that can cause damage outside of that. But they were talking about pure acetone. There's another one. I think it's xylene. Is that how you say that?
There is I mean, and I those are great for like soaking coins and stuff like that. The issue, and I can actually show an example of this because I bought a roll of coins that had, I'm not sure if it was lacquer or I'm starting after some research thinking that it is mineral oil that has hardened, if that
Well,
makes any
yeah,
sense,
people used to soak them in mineral oil to keep the copper from.
from toning. And
Yeah, well, not only toning, but to keep it from getting, especially if they live in humid areas, it repels moisture, and so it would keep the fedigree and all that stuff from the disintegration of the copper, right? So when you get that reactionary stuff, it would protect it. Yeah, jackalope. So here's again, I'm not being a proponent of cleaning these things. Again, my very first thing that I stated was I do not recommend you do any of this. But people were asking. There are a couple of approved
yeah,
items, but ultimately, um, you can send it off for good conservation. But understand this: if it's something that you have that you want to make sure it's nice, then you need to find methods that's not going to hurt the coin. However, anytime you do anything like this, even sending it off for conservation, you probably should not send it in for grading afterwards because it's going to come back clean and you'll forever have that
Well,
designation on it.
even from what I'm just reading a Coin Talk forum. Somebody sent the coin in and had the spot removed, and PCGS graded it and then put spot removed on the on the card. So it did nothing. You should have just kept the spot on there, I think. Because
Yeah,
they're
and
labeled
again,
it, they've conserved it.
the one thing that people, like, when you look at this, it's very small amounts of copper. So when you get those red spots, it's very unlikely that it's going to grow throughout the remainder of the coin. Simply because it's only going to be if there's like a slightly higher concentration of copper in that specific area on the surface of the coin, it's only going to show up in that very specific area. If you'll notice, you never see any red gold coins, right? They're always just spots because it's limited down to, hey, Miss Coin Crew, because it's limited and it's down to those areas in which the copper's one close to the surface or where it's been able to react. Um, I would recommend never cleaning a coin. But somebody asked, and I was like, look, there's a couple of approved methods. But number one, ultimately, if you're going to do it, Eric is exactly right. I would send it off for.
And here's the reason why. Can I show them? I'm going to share a screen in a second.
Yeah, go ahead. Fire away.
Like I said, I had bought this roll, and I found some varieties in it. The rest of the roll I threw in the bucket, and the coins were pretty nice red coins. And I took acetone to one. Let me get my scope up here.
Yeah,
And
Matt, that was what he was talking about earlier when he's talking about this mineral oil
yeah, I don't think it was lacquer because
Yeah.
it came off really easy. Here is the acetone. And see, I did it because it's a double die.
You got to share your screen.
Oh, let me get my screen up.
Like it's not appearing.
It's coming. It's coming.
There it is.
All right. So there's the double die on the wheat. And
Okay, hold on. Before you move that, let's go back. How many people can see this? Because I know when it comes to wheats are one of those things along with eyeballs that I have a hard time seeing.
And you can actually see it all through the wheat grains right there. This one actually is pretty strong. You can see it going up every line. And then you see it right here on the edge.
Okay.
And I think it even goes down. This is not the best example.
Yeah, well, but again, as yours says, tiny. The important piece of this is what I want to make sure we do is whenever we show images, I want to make sure people are seeing what it is we're talking about.
This coin had like, I think it's still around the date. I don't think I got this one.
West Texas, congrats on the 1,000 subscribers. I'm glad you got there. That's awesome.
Whatever it is still living right around the date. And that's why when you see clean coins, you usually see dark spots or light spots around the date because they don't get it totally clean. But when I hit this with acetone, it started turning yellowish green. And I could re-rub it with acetone and it would go totally gold. But as soon as the air dried it, it would turn green. So then I tried xylene. And this is what I got with xylene was purple. And this one you can see it's a much better example, Frosty. See how it's going all the way down because it's a better strike?
Yeah, see, that one's way clearer to me.
Yeah, they're the same.
It's just, yeah, I just want to make sure that when we show these things that people can actually see them. Because I know a lot of times I'll get messages after the streams and say, I had no idea what they were showing me. Can you go back and show me again?
And the key to this example is you need to know what is on the coin. I don't know what is on the coin. And all I know is that I've tried 2 different solvents. Both of them reacted harshly to it. And so I'm going to try, I've got a couple more things I'm going to try on another coin. And I'm actually going to start trying them on the coins that I'm throwing in the junk bin. Because I thought acetone, I thought it would be fine. And this is very pleasantly toned. I am actually very satisfied with this. Lots of purple, lots of blue. But you have to know what is on the coin because different chemicals have different reactions to things on the coin, organic stuff on the coin especially.
No, Coach, what we're talking about is I had some people after we were watching a episode of Salivate talking about red spots on gold coins ask me how they would remove it. And number one, I don't recommend you do. But there are different things that happen. And what we're talking about now is potential side effects if you opt to do this and some of the things that happen. Because there are inadvertent consequences for cleaning a coin. So, for instance, let's say there was a previous cleaning and you ended up dipping something in MS-70. MS-70, one, if it's left in too long, can turn your coin black. But you can actually show improper cleanings and things of that nature, and you can actually really destroy the look of the coin if done incorrectly.
I would consider it artificial, Joe. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all good. So again, when we're talking about this stuff, we talk about how people do it, but it's definitely nothing that we absolutely recommend. I don't ever recommend cleaning a coin. I'll give you a great example. Right? Let me pull this back up. Okay, here's a great example. Okay, 1921 peace dollar, AU55. A lot of people would take that, dip that, but I'm not going to mess with it. Why? Well, one, it's straight graded. I wouldn't mess with it. But it's the coin that I'm after. Yeah, I wish it would look a little bit nicer. It would be nice to have that blast white. But you can see, one, the toning. But if I was to dip this and something happened, it might even degrade this coin even further. And so it's not something that I would mess with. So I don't ever support cleaning a coin. Even sending a coin in for conservation has its potential downfalls. I wouldn't do it. But just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean other people won't. And other people clean their coins quite frequently. I just want people to understand there are methods to the madness, and you can definitely
I don't know.
do that.
Has anybody have you ever had that acetone bath a coin, Frosty?
I've never done that.
Have you ever got one that's like globbed with either varnish or lacquer or something where it's just like somebody's tried to preserve the coin?
Yeah, I have an entire roll. And what was funny was I was getting ready to ask Chuck about it, and he had done a roll reveal where like the edges of the coin were flaking.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is that?" I have an entire roll as the exact same thing, and he's like, "That's the varnish. That's the lacquer."
And it's actually not considered cleaning when you give it an acetone bath. I mean, it didn't used to be considered. While it is, it was acceptable because you're not rubbing and scrubbing and stuff like that. It's just like a bathing to try to get the chemical off. My issue here is that whatever the chemical was reacted with the solvents. And so this, yes, Joe says, is this artificial toning? I would consider this artificial toning. But it's pleasant. And if I ever, gave this coin to somebody, I'm going to tell them that it had stuff on it and it was washed with xylene.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to sell this as a coin that's uncirculated. But that was my point, was you have to know what material is on the coin before you just guess. Like I guessed this was lacquer. I'm going to throw it in paint thinner, acetone or xylene, which is organic. You rinse it off with water. There's no traces. It doesn't leave residue if you do it properly.
Yeah, Matt T. It goes with anything that's collectible. If you're going to do it, have a professional do it. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter if it's cleaning an old weapon, or it doesn't matter if it's cleaning or updating furniture. It doesn't matter if it's collectible items. Anytime you're going to do any kind of restorative work, anytime you're going to do any kind of trying to correct something with the item, in this particular case, it's a coin. But anytime you're doing anything with anything collectible, you want to make sure you take it to a professional. We have a really
stuff.
Well, we had a really nice carpet that my mom had had for years, and it was extremely valuable. And we just didn't have the money to send that in to get it done. And they did a botch job on it, basically ruined the carpet. So while it sounds nice, inevitably, when you're trying to make sure you restore something to as close to its original, spend the money, right? Make sure you take that to a professional. Make sure you do your research. Make sure that person knows what's going on, but be realistic, right? Understand that your level of restoration may not be what they can provide. And you also have to understand that if you send it in for restoration, there's a potential problem with the fact that they may find something that you didn't know about before.
That is not restorable.
That it's not restorable, or they actually find out that it's way more degraded than what happens and they can't get the pieces for it, and now they can't even put it back together. There are cases like that, and I don't know how many of you guys watch this. You guys ever watch the Antique Roadshow?
Absolutely.
I love that show. There was a story of a guy taking a piece of furniture in. It rated at a very high thing. They took it to the appraisal, and I think it was something like $130,000. And the guy was like, "If you do anything with this, take it to a restoration place." He goes, "But I would recommend that you don't do that." He says, because sometimes, because of the age of this, there are unknowns that happen deep inside the wood that you won't know until you start to take it apart. And he told him, do not do it. Do not take it. I really do not. Please don't do it. Keep it in a cool place. Prevent it from getting straight sunlight, those types of things. If they want to do surface stuff, they can do surface stuff, but I recommend you not do that. Very delicate piece. Don't do it. And they did a follow-up with, and I'll see if I can find the video, but they basically went through and said, that piece, this is what happens when you go against the advice of professionals. And unfortunately, that piece was completely destroyed because as they started to do it, the little connector pieces, now they were able to rebuild it, but now it's not 100% original because they had to manufacture parts to put it back together. So that $120,000 whatever is now only worth like 40. So again, there's potentials for that. Cleaning a coin, even if you send it in for professional conservation and then they grade it, like they just talked about spot removal, and maybe come back cleaned. If you take and crack an old coin, you may have a straight grade, but you send it back in, and because of the the chemical testing and the stuff that they do for coins, your previously straight graded coin may not come back straight grade anymore. That really cool toning piece that's straight graded, you send it in to try to get it upgraded, might come in artificially toned. So you've got to be very careful when doing stuff like this because the consequences of this might not be what you expected it to be. You may be looking at an increase of value and you may totally lose the value of that. So be very careful with this.
And this coin didn't decrease in value because I did it. It was already decreased in value when I started.
Yeah. Now here's the thing.
I actually had a motivation.
Yeah, but if you have a piece that you know is damaged already, and you want to utilize it as a teaching thing, and that's fine.
Well, this wasn't so much for teaching. I'm going to take photos of it and put it on copper coins. This is an actual going to be a photo. Nobody has this die pair in uncirculated. This is still an uncirculated details type coin.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
got
going
you.
to put it on copper coins. That was my motivation. Is I was trying to get a good one to take photographs of.
So in
Found,
situations like that, it's a little bit different. But again,
yeah,
still, you have to understand what you have and
and yeah,
understand.
and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I did this to a coin that was already ruined. So, I mean, and it actually is much better now than it was before I started it. I just was looking for them, and of course, through all this pile of stuff that I have sitting here, I can't find them. Well, maybe this is them. Nope, that's not them. Shit.
So while you do that, I want to pull something else up. This is where is it? Here is, I want to show you this image. Now, I just pulled the image off Google, but I have another site and I want to do this because I don't want to give anybody too much information about what it is that I'm showing them. I want to see if any of you know what this is. Because I was going through something and learned about something that I had not seen before. Oh, come on, don't do this. Who knows what this is? And I'll open this up to chat. Does anybody in chat know what this is? Well, I guess I should have done something else, but
That's a great image of one too.
yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't very smart about my header.
Would that be Persian?
Actually, yes, it is. It's not. It's actually something that's pretty cool. Red silver.
All right, it's Arabic.
Yeah, yeah. So this is actually, and I'm going to give it just a minute. I'll let some more people answer. This is something that, as I was looking through a very specific coin, I was doing some research yesterday, kind of while we were doing, and a lot of people are saying it has to do with wax. It's not, doesn't have to do with wax at all. This is actually, it's not a seal. This is something that I really had never thought about when they were talking about coins. This is a numismatic item. This is an ancient numismatic item. And when you talked about having silver or gold, they didn't have necessarily denominations on the face. So the way that you managed silver and gold, again, when we talk about pieces of 8, right? There was there were there was 1, there were 2, which is where you get your 2 bits. You have 1 bits, 2 bits, 4 bits, 8 bits. Here, let me zoom that in a little bit. They said I can read it if I zoom it in. That's about as close as I can get. But the way that you would do this is by the weight of the metal. So this is an old coin weight. This is an ancient trade weight. And what they would do with this particular thing is they would put this on a scale against a known weight. So this actually tells you, if you read this, and I don't read Arabic, so I couldn't read this, but what it would tell you is the weight of the content, what the item is. Yeah, I'll send that to you, Azure. And what they would do is they'd give you the weight of the content, and then it would tell you, what it should be. So if there was a very specific coin, for instance, if there was a piece of 8, or if there was an old farthing or something, and I'm just coming up with ideas, old German or German silver coins or ancient Roman coins or Greek coins. And so I came across a site, and again, I'm not supporting or sponsoring any sites, but I came across this site, and this is something that I found really interesting. It wasn't something that I had actually seen before, but there's this site, and I'll put this in here. Yes, they actually used to make them of glass as well, Eric. Um, and you can actually buy these. You can buy ancient coin weights. Most of the time, they were made of metal, or they were made of glass, and they would be what you. Hey, what's up, Vote for Pedro? Hope you're doing well, brother. Um, what they would do is, let's say that you took in, you're talking about an old Roman coin, Caesar, and they would have this, and you had whatever the weight of that particular coin should be. They would go in, they would grab that, they would put it on a scale, and it would be something that would help them identify whether somebody had trimmed the silver or the gold off, right? And so it was a way for the ancient merchants or the coin collectors or tax collectors or things of that to actually ensure they had the proper weight of that particular metal and that particular alloy. Now, what I'm going to do, yesterday, you guys know Mike Niddleman was in the stream. I'm going to reach out to him, and I'm going to see if I can get Aaron Burke and him to come on stream and talk a little bit about this kind of stuff. I was fascinated as I started looking through the various lead weights. You see the one in the top center that is Roman. I'm going to zoom into these so that some people can see these. You can see that they have some Roman weights. You have ones that came from Byzantine. That one is glass. And again, depending upon the denomination or the currency of the time, they would have these pieces that would, you could look at. And I was fascinated by this. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a video on this, but I'm going to reach out and see if I can get more information, because I don't know a lot about these. I just stumbled across this yesterday. But I'm going to see if I can get a hold. So I'm going to be sending an email out. And hopefully in the next week or two, we can have somebody on to actually kind of go through some of these, talk about some of the history. And but I wanted to give you guys just an opportunity to look at some of this stuff. I think they're really cool. And when you look at these, you're going to see some really neat looking pieces. And they talk about the various sizes and the weights and what they were. And there's whole bunches of these. They talk about them, the shekels. They talk about Babylonian, Syrian weights. These obviously were a metal-based item. The shekel was made out of hematite, which is a stone. They would weigh that down to make sure that it actually weighed the same as that particular coin. But it's definitely one of those things that is, it's quite fascinating. It's definitely one of those things that is quite cool. And I wanted to share that with everybody because I really hadn't seen much on this. So I'm not going to just kind of go through and just give you generalized information. I really want to get with the professionals. I can do research and give you the research that I come across, but I want to get with what I would call the man, Aaron Burke, and see if we can't do that, because these were really cool. There's some really, really neat pieces. And I'm sure that with him working at Harlan J. Burke, I'm sure that they have some amazing examples of these. So if this is something you guys want to know more about, if this is something you guys would like to see, do me a favor, put a one in chat. Let me know that this is something that you guys would like to see more of. Most of the stuff that I do has been, uh, U.S. based coins because, again, I'm still fairly new to all of this. But if you guys want to see more of this kind of rare stuff, I'm trying to get more people who are, the top of the top in their fields, big channels, trying to get them on. So if you guys are interested in doing this, please let me know. I see a number of ones. I just got 2 texts that said one. Um, so awesome. But yeah. So anyway, I'll get a hold of them, let them know what I'm interested in doing, and maybe they'll make something themselves, or maybe they can come on and talk about this. So I'll reach out to them. I'm not going to hold them to doing it. I mean, that's not cool to do, but I will definitely reach out and ask because these were just really cool. I mean, you're looking at the dinars, you're looking at some old Egyptian. You're looking at again these nice hematite from Sirius, Egyptian, Syrian. Just some really really cool things. Again, if you're interested in doing this, I'll put the description in this down below. The Athenian Dracodrome. Yeah, there's very few people that really understand ancients like Aaron Burke. Brilliant guy. And then I don't know if you guys know this, but they have the Ancient Coin Show podcast with Mike, and you see him and Mike Noodle along with Aaron, and they talk about a variety of stuff. Make sure you get over. If I can have one of my moderators pull up one of those, if they could research that, pull that up, that would be awesome. Morning, Kevin. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. So anyway, but yeah, I wanted to share this with you because I was like, this was really cool. This is kind of the unique stuff that I want to have and bring this to you. So I'll see if I can get somebody on a Sunday to talk more about these. A lot of people say that they would like to see this, so I thought that would be really cool to share. Had you ever seen these before, Eric?
Not the ancient ones. I have seen like pennyweight and stuff like that for measuring gold and silver, diamonds. They use a lot of that kind of stuff. And that was before the advent of electronic scales.
Yeah. Well, and you're talking about weights and measures, right? They quite literally had counterweights for everything, right? Because that's how you did that. Remember, Monty Python used wood to weigh the weight of a witch or a duck. Oh, I just opened up myself to my humor. If you guys don't get that reference, then you guys got to go see Monty Python and The Life of Brian. But she's a witch. Look, did you put that nose on her? Yes. But she's a witch. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to watch one of those today.
I always think when I see that, I always think of that Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live, the trough of justice. If she floats, she's a witch.
Yeah, and so, you're talking about the Holy Grail, Life of Brian. You get into comedy, Mel Brooks. One of the funniest things is when they talk about the Roman centurion and his wife, and they're talking about biggest, and then incontinentius buttocks. Oh, those things they're classics. They're so much fun.
They're timeless.
Yeah, and so I mean, you got to be careful with some of them. Some of them can't be shown in mixed company because of fear for everybody. But yeah, there's a lot of fun in that. So that kind of tells you guys where my humor's at if you don't already know. Please do me a favor, folks, if you're liking this kind of stuff, smash that like. Well, yeah. What's your favorite color? Red. No, no, wait, blue. Ah, yeah. Absolutely amazing stuff. And so, again, it's really cool. But yeah, I will come back. I will get with a couple people and check to find out what I can about these particular elements and items. I'm going to continue to search for some kind of weird oddity stuff, and on Sundays try to bring you more of people. Like again, I got to reach out. I've already sent the message back to Blue Ridge. We're coordinating a time for him. We'll find out. Blue Ridge's schedule may not yield to the weekend, so that may be something that happens during the week. More to come. Tiger and I are, when we do our stack collector, we are reaching out to some people who are we're trying to get some people on to talk about genuine finance. We're trying to find some good finance people to talk about some of these things. So we're really trying to bring you really good content, like expert content, and make it about how to provide more information for you. We see this a lot in the stacking community where they bring, the actual mints up, and they bring, the people that are talking about silver and gold. A great example of this is my buddy Surfer, who often brings up, people like Andy Scheckman, where they talk about the coin or the silver and the gold and the value and what's happening, or they're talking about the various metals and the things that are happening with it. I want to do the same thing within numismatics. I want to make sure that you guys have a good opportunity. Now, there's a lot of people who are already do this. The Coin Show podcast is great at doing this, but I want to continue to provide you guys with some good information so that you can do that. But I also want to have just general chit chat, which is what we're going to go to next. So, but anyway, I wanted to share this with you. I thought you guys might like to see this. So I think this would be a fun future episode. So what do you guys got on your schedule today, Eric? You guys got any reveals?
I'm not sure. I got to go help my daughter move.
Oh, that's right. You say that.
Yep.
Yep. Is Chuck going to be doing any reveals today?
I think so, but I'm not certain about that either. I haven't talked to him since Friday, so I'm not exactly sure what he's got going on.
All right.
Ancient coins. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I would love to learn more about ancient coins.
Yeah, and this is, again, I've talked to a number of people, and you guys have heard Paula say this. She's not an ancient person, right? She's not. Well, I say that wrong. She's not ancient. Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to say. She doesn't study ancient coins. And so there are coin channels that I watch that have ancient coins up there, but you really have to understand long lived.
That's right.
Yeah, long lived is good too. But again, it's important for people to understand that is a science that requires a vast amount of knowledge.
The volume.
Yeah.
Volume.
It's insane. The amount of stuff you have to understand and know what to look for. Coin collecting can be difficult, and there's a lot of things that, you look at sense and you understand the design, and you have to be able to articulate the differences in designs and years. But when you're looking at ancients and you're looking at things that we don't have the people to talk to, when we talk about Lincoln Cents, we have the guy who wrote the book. When we look at, the reveals and the amount of sense that Eric deals with, you get to see those things. They can speak to it. When we look at the information Paula has and what she's been able to do with, who she worked with and the mentors and the knowledge and stuff they had, these were people that they got to hear from one-on-one, and they got to go through and look at these particular elements and actually dig in and ask questions back and forth. We don't have that opportunity with ancients. And so you have to be very studied. You really have to understand, and you can get it wrong very, very quickly. So to have somebody who really understands this and basically has wrote books on it, um, Aaron Burke would be the man to ask. So I want to make sure that I can try to reach out. I'm not saying he's going to come up, but I'm going to reach out and see if he'd be interested in doing that because I think it would be a very fun piece of information for you guys. You have any goodies you want to show? I don't really. Very true, Frosty. Like the Alexander Drachma, the coin that was struck during his lifetime in forex more valuable than a lot. Yeah. Well, and again, when you're looking at these types of things, how many people? And I wish I had one up here. I thought I don't keep. I keep my ancients here because they're not worth anything. I didn't bring one up. It's hard for me to just randomly grab a coin because if it's valuable, it's not at my house. I don't keep stuff here, so it's very hard to just randomly go grab a coin and bring it up and show you. Okay, cool. I'll check that out, Azure. Just a sec. But when it comes to ancients, I don't know anything about it.
Nope. I've got one ancient story, and it turned out better than I expected it to turn out. And it's from when I was young, and that was my ex-brother-in-law always said, my dad gave me this coin and it's worth $1 million. It was supposed to be some ancient, and I can't even tell you what coin it was. And I says, no. And then after I had divorced my previous wife, he says, yeah, I took that thing to the coin shop. I says, well, what did they say? He says, yeah, they said it was counterfeit. And I says, see, I told you. He says, yeah, but they still gave me $2,000 for it.
Oh, ouch.
It was something that was made in the 40s for some festival. So it was made on purpose. And they knew how many of them were made, and they knew all about them. When the coin dealer saw it, he was very aggressively trying to buy it from them. And I mean, he told him why it wasn't real and showed him why it wasn't real. But then he says, this actual is not a counterfeit, it's a copy. And it was made for this, I want to say, some festival in New York City back in the 40s.
Yeah, but if they're that eager, that's always a flag for me.
Yeah, and
always a flag for me.
Well, I had showed him on in books, because it was always in in different foreign coin books. This was like the creme de la creme of what coin you're looking for. And I said, there's like two known in the world. It's that kind of thing again. And but this particular token, and I guess there was a way they knew that it was the fake. They showed him and everything. And but yeah, he was happy, and I said, hey, you should be happy. So that is, kind of a good story. That's the only foreign coin. I do collect half pennies. I'm a Lincoln cent collector by heart, and I got tons and tons and tons of half pennies from all over the world, because that's my thing. Large cents also. World large cents, not American large cents, even though I should probably start that now too. Ringmaster Ray kind of lit the fire on looking for repunch dates in large cents.
That dude. And again, you talk about people like Dirty Water. You talk about Ray. You talk about Coin Junkie. These folks look and look and look and look and look. And when they find stuff that it's pretty cool, but they find it because they look. I need to get, and you and I talked about this at the very beginning, I need to get a better coin scope and start looking at coins again. It's frustrating to not find stuff because I am not able to look. I just can't see it very well. I have this here. This was sent by Azure. This is niobium. I don't know what this is. Azure, put stuff in chat. I'm not sure. You can't find it if you don't look. That's exactly right.
Exotic bullion. So that the niobium or whatever, that must be the name of the metal, and it has the atomic symbol 41. Is that the correct atomic symbol?
I would assume, yeah. It's interesting. Lick it. THS.
It is.
No, who knows if that is whatever. It's not silver. You can lick your silver. Joseph C. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here.
That's cool.
It's cool stuff. Yeah. If you
It
don't
is
mind me
considered
asking,
a chemical element.
he says it is used to make steel stronger. Interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, Wolfer Pedro says the crown jewel of my collection is a beautiful Athenian drachma, struck in the lifetime during Socrates. Saved 4 years for that coin. Holy crap! Absolutely love it. Yeah. See, Pedro, I love the ancients. My problem is that I have such a hard time trying to study the history because I love coins, but I don't like coins necessarily just for the look. I want to know their histories. We were having a discussion, me, Paula, and Eric, um, and we were discussing history. And one thing that was brought up was if you look at, and this was something that Paula had mentioned, if you look at some of the major points in history and you relate them to some of the coinage that you find, isn't it ironic that certain coins exist at certain time frames? And that's something that I'm going to, these are the questions I want to study. I love that kind of mystery. I love the history of it and being able to look at information. So I'm going to dig into that. I'm going to really study and look at financial situations and segments and stuff like that. The ancients, I love history. Absolutely love history. And unfortunately, history and coins, they go hand in hand, but a lot of people just don't like it like most of us do. But
It has something to do with the coins. You're looking at the coin anyways. You find out. I mean, even Lincoln Cents. You say, hey, you got to roll a 1938. How many people actually go and see what was going on in 1938? You know, a lot of people actually do. That used to be one of my things with the reveals. I'd start up 63. This is what happened. Kennedy got assassinated. Blah 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 blah. You know, the postage stamp was 6-7 cents or something like that. I don't remember it offhand, but I used to do that before the reveals.
yeah, well, again, I love looking at coins, right? I love looking at, and I'll pull this down. This is really cool, Azure. Thank you for sending it over. I love looking at coins. When you look at some of these elements, like these two right here, I absolutely love these two right here. These are the new pieces that came out. They are the uh, Liberty and Britannia, right? Really, really neat pieces. And it's a conglomeration between the United States and Britain, right? And just I love these pieces. I got one of each, and they're both proof cameos. You can see that on the left hand side it's the American, and on the right hand side it's the British side. You can tell that by which one of Liberties is on top, and they're really cool. And I like this because you talk about liberty of both, and you talk about how the Revolutionary War and separating from uh, the rule of kings and the independence for freedom that we have, and then we have come together not only in financial realms but here in a collecting hobby, where nations have come back together and done stuff together to create and make something beautiful. There's a whole history involved in that, and I like the story of the coins more than I like the coins sometimes, because that's what's intriguing to me. That's the thing that I enjoy when we look at coins. I like looking at the history. Um, I like things like this. What's cool about this one? Got the star. What does the star mean? You know what the star means, Eric?
Yes, I do. It's equivalent to a plus in PCGS.
Yeah, right. And a lot of people like those. So what does that mean? It's just different, right?
It means it's MS65 and a half.
Yeah, it's an MS65 with excellent eye appeal, right? And so I love looking at those kinds of things. You guys know I have my favorite designer, Christian Gobrecht. And so I have tons of seated based items. Um, and again, speaking of, you know, being able to find things like this. And again, it's just, I like the history of the things. I like the older coins. I like the stories behind it. But I like to dig in to what happened with that particular coin. Um, that for me is like I like ancients, but I don't have the money to purchase some of these ancient coins. Um, I just don't have. Coach's Magic. Is there a name for the mint crossovers? I just think they're called collaborations, right? I don't think there's a technical name for that. Is there, Eric?
I think they were both named the same thing at each respectable mint.
Yeah, but I think it's just the Liberty Britannia collaboration, right?
Right. Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they have any specific name for it. There may be an official one somewhere, but I don't think that there's.
You're out of my wheelhouse when you're talking about stuff like that. Even though I did buy the British versions of the coin, uh, I didn't buy the U.S. version, and I might one day. Uh, I got shamed into buying the English version, and I can tell you it was probably one of the most pleasant experiences that I've had from any mint buying coins. You put an order in the U.S. Mint, it takes 3 weeks. You put an order in at the Royal Mint, it takes 2 days.
Yeah, and you receive it in 5.
Or less.
Yeah.
It's like, how can they get it over the sea that fast?
Yeah, I did an order for a ship coin, and it came very nicely wrapped, very professionally displayed, and I spent a little bit more than I anticipated, but it was amazing. Very good customer service, and I got it faster than I've ever gotten anything from the mint.
Yes.
The only coin I ever got faster, it actually wasn't even a coin, it was a metal, was because I paid for the immediate release of that.
Right. The flowing hair.
The flowing hair. Yeah. Other than that, I've never had anything. It's like getting something through PCGS. It's pulling teeth. But yeah, I've always had good customer service and working with them. The other one is I've always had good customer service with trying to do stuff with the Canadian Mint as well. Any of the Royal Mints, they do a really good job working at it. 1795 Half Eagle. I'm not sure which coin that is, but it sounds like a beauty. Did we have a gold coin?
Did we do a gold coin? I'm not sure.
1795?
I thought the first U.S. coin, why do I keep thinking the first U.S. coin is 1796?
Oh, no, 1793 is our first coin. So the half deem technically, which is 1792.
I don't see a half eagle. I see what they call a small eagle. Oh, there's a half eagle. It's a small eagle.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got you. I hadn't heard it called a half eagle either. Yeah, that's the draped bust. That's a beautiful piece. Yeah, that draped bust is a very, very amazing coin. How many foreign coins have the king and queen on it? Oh, good Lord. All of them.
Yeah, you're getting anything that's in the Commonwealth, pretty much.
Yeah, that's so. There's a bunch.
You've got a lot of African countries, South America, islands.
Yeah.
There's countries all over that use the image of the king or queen.
Yeah, THS, that's the half team, right? I think the 1792 is a
Yeah.
half team. Yeah. Um, but yeah, Joseph C., any of those that that come from anything related to the Royal Mint, the Canadian Mint, the Nui, Australia, all of those all have images of royalty on them. And a matter of fact, even Spanish, some of the Spanish coins have their oligarchy on them, right?
No, they have Spanish oligarchy.
Yeah, Spanish oligarchy. Yeah. So, and we have dead presidents, but
But that's new. The dead president is relatively a new thing for the United States. It started in 1909.
I wish they would go back and put liberty on
And
coins.
there was a lot of fuss over that. If you look at some of the documents that are available, uh, the barber did not like it. He thought that it was not right to have a president on the coin and that it wouldn't end well. And it turned out he was wrong. People loved presidents on the coins. So, but yeah, I just I love the Lincoln set because it's easy to collect and easy to, I can do what I like to do. But man, do I love standing Liberty quarters and Buffalo nickels. I love all the Art Deco stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, so let's pull up a couple of these and let's talk about this because, the piece that he just sent over, when he was talking about, I'm going to pull these up. It's going to take me a second to get there. Um, I don't mind CTHS. I don't mind, or Azure, excuse me. Oh, who said that? It jumped up. The American women hate it. Um,
That was just because they just needed to put a towel over.
yeah. But okay, so taking inappropriateness aside, I personally here look type one. It's old, it's beat up, but I have a type one right here. Okay, it's VG. It's nothing major, but it is a type one. Um, this goes in my little case. This will go back to my storage place afterwards. But um, putting all that aside, it's still one of those things that uh, that design is far better. And I am not degrading any of the accomplishments of any of the presidents. I'm not doing that. But I would much rather see something like this on the obverse of a dime than Roosevelt.
I agree.
And I'm not knocking, and you look at the coins are politically charged. Back in the early 1800s, they were representations of a founding nation, a fledgling nation. We wanted to embody grace and style and liberty and tact and show that we had the capability. A lot of the design elements that you see here were copies from other countries. A lot of you'll see French coinage when you look at some of these. Yeah. So when you look at some of these, you're seeing this. But these were things that, again, America was the melting pot. This is the place where people came for that religious freedom, for that right to bear arms, to do that kind of stuff, right? So many of these design elements came from other countries. They're not unique. It's just they were the first time to be put on an American coin. Many of these, now they've been altered or changed a little bit, but they're previous designs. They're modifications of existing designs. But they represented something. Now, if I was to look at this, do I think this coin is beautiful? Well, if I'm talking beauty as in, like we see supermodel beautiful, she's not a supermodel by any shape of the imagination. This gal's thick. Okay? However, when you look at this, this is a much better and more elegant look of a coin. The eagle holding the wreath in its mouth. Again, does that even look like an eagle? That's funky sea chicken, right?
Yeah.
But these are what they did. Yeah, Kevin, that's exactly right. Beauty is in the eyes of the beer holder. Yes. But when you look at this, this is way more interesting to me. If I saw, and this is why I'm really looking forward to 2026 and seeing some of the design elements. They had such an amazing opportunity. Look at that flowing hair. And I don't have the flowing hair here. I wish I would have brought the flowing hair home, but I didn't do that yesterday. So I can't show it. But look at, let's find, I don't really have one to show, so I can't really do that. Look at some of the elements, right? You know what would be really fun? And I don't know if you guys have seen these. I can pull these up and share this. How many of you guys have seen what I've labeled, and they're called the potty coins, the toilet coins? How many of you guys have seen the toilet coins? I think I showed this once before. Have you guys ever seen those? I'm trying to pull one up. Sorry. Where are these? These were first introduced to me by Paula. And when I first saw these, I was fascinated by looking at these and going, oh my God, this is Heritage Auction. Now, I'll share this screen with you really quick. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, this is much like you would see. Yep, exactly, Kevin. Great Collections did a really cool subset of these, and they've sold a few of these, and they sell for quite a bit of money. I would love to see something about American art on coins, where they took a hobo nickel and made that hobo nickel the design element on the front of the coin. Or they take some of these beautiful pieces that are done. And yeah, granted, it's a little bit, it's kind of funny. It's sit or get off the, yeah, exactly, Azure. But I would love to see some uniqueness in this. I think we have such a good opportunity to do this. Now, that reminds me, I'm going to show you guys something. I think it would be a lot of fun for the Mint to do kind of some fun stuff. Yeah, some of them are pretty crude. Coins making sense. Good to see you, by the way. There's a lot of these that are fairly crude, but some of them are extremely well done. But there are some absolutely fabulous and amazing coins that have been altered and designed. If you look at some of the hobo nickels, even the old ones or the new ones, there are some amazing and articulate designs. I think we could do some really cool stuff with our coins that would really ignite and spark the coin collector in a lot of people. I think everyone in this stream, everyone in this chat has the capability to become an amazing person for our hobby. But we need these things to be shared. We need people to see the different cool things that have come from numismatics, right? We need to be able to show these things. I think it would be tons of fun to be able to have something like this show up on one of our coins. Now, Matt T. Coin said, unfortunately, this is one of the most fake coins on AliExpress. Yes, they are faked because they fetch high dollar value. But wouldn't it be cool? I mean, now granted, when we look at the 2026 designs for U.S. coins, you guys can look this up yourself. Some of this stuff is not necessarily good looking. They had a really nice opportunity to do
There was some
something really
beautiful
cool.
design.
Say again?
There was beautiful designs. If you can watch, they have a YouTube channel. The U.S. Mint does, and you can watch them going over the designs of all these coins. And some of these coins had 20 or 30 designs. And there was some beautiful designs. And ultimately, I understand why they didn't pick the most intricate, best ones, because they were going to be a minting nightmare.
Yep.
Uh, they had the engraver there saying, yeah, we're going to have a hard time getting the amount of coins we need to get out of the dies out of these dies without failure. So I understand why they simplified a lot of this stuff, but they did pick a lot of, I don't know, designs that I'm not real thrilled with. There's some good ones in there though. Like they could have did much better with the nickels and pennies.
Yep.
Uh,
I mean, this is supposed to be, and you can see some of the other ones. I mean, I like the Liberty Bell privy mark. I think that would have been really cool to have seen.
yep.
Right. I like this one right here. Versus this one, there's too much stuff there. But the opportunity for them to have changed, that's not, yeah. For the opportunity for them to have changed and actually done some really cool things. Again, they missed out. And some of the coins that they're doing, some of the stuff that they're doing for these coins, it's second rate, in my opinion. It's politically charged. They're including stuff that has nothing to do with the Constitution. It's obviously they're looking at including the amendments in this. It's supposed to be celebrating the Constitution and liberty, and they've deviated from it. I think that the opportunity for them to have really done something cool it's been missed. Now, why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying this because the ANA, let me pull this up here, ANA voting, it is time to vote. So if you are if you're on the ANA, you have the opportunity right now, if you're a member, you have the opportunity right now to go in and cast your vote for their national elections, to vote for the committee, to vote for people who will, bring information to you. There's the opportunity right now. If you're a member of the ANA, and I'm sorry, Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution. Thank you. But yeah, it's supposed to be something that is, defending our nation. But here's the opportunity for you to do that, to actually get in and to look at these kind of things. But here's the thing: we have opportunities now under the current administration to change some of that. So now it's an extremely good time to petition some of these things and get some of that stuff out, right? So this is the time. We have time right now to actually petition lawmakers and talk to people about histories and what happens and make recommendations. We have the administration for it right now. So I think that this is a good opportunity for us to look at some of these things and make some decisions. But folks, if we want to change, and really look at some of these items, we want to make sure we engage in those areas that are the ones that make those decisions. And the ANA, the CAC, those folks, they're the ones that actually can speak on our behalf. And I know that Paula has stated a number of times there's only one or two people on the CAC that speak for the numismatist. But still.
And they didn't say a whole lot. Actually,
No.
The seat was open most of the time, I think.
Yeah. And so we need to make sure we engage in those kind of things. We need to make sure that we're tracking those. Hey, what's going on? Good morning, Mike. Good to see you. But yeah, if we have the opportunity right now, and again, this is just within the ANA, but those things, those votes come around pretty frequently on a regular basis. If you want to make a difference, stay engaged. Find those agencies, those people that speak for. Yeah, thank you for putting that in there. Clarification: CAC and not CAC. It's not the grading company; it's the committee. So thank you for putting that in there. But making sure that people understand that you have an ability to gain a voice in this. So I think that you really do have the opportunity to impact this hobby. And I say this again, everybody in this stream, everybody who's watching the video currently, watching this live stream, or watch the video later on, every one of you has the capability of impacting our hobby. We all have a say. We all have the right to speak about what we want to see. We have to act on that. And we do that by doing things like voting in these committees, by joining some of the memberships. I just joined Kaneka. I need to send some information. They told me they don't have all the information. I need to update it. But get on those things and talk about those items. Connect with people who are looking after the hobby. Again, we talk about Coin Show Podcast. Mike's here, comes back in. Mike, I didn't email you. I need to get your email address. I went to follow up. I'm like, I don't even have his email address. And then I do have it. Then I couldn't find it. So I will email you today. I apologize for not following up with you. I have another thing that I want to talk to you guys about anyway. So I'll send that immediately following this stream. But we have the opportunity to engage. We have the opportunity to do these kind of things. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. I'll send this immediately following. So when you get opportunities to do this, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, right? Vote. Go ask questions. Find out who the candidates are. Find out a little bit about them. Talk with other people in the community that know some of these people. Eric, how many people does Chuck know?
Gosh.
Almost
100.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Right?
You always hear when we go to shows, they'll have somebody there and you go, oh, I had dinner with him for a whole week at this, and we went up to some mountains and drove through some mountain range. And yeah, he's rubbed elbows with a lot of people.
Yeah, and again,
great stories.
Yeah, so, but what the whole point of this is that we have opportunities. There's a story that I absolutely love, and you guys don't know this. I enjoy saltwater aquariums, maintained reef tanks for a large number of years, saltwater fish. I've got a really cool 300-gallon tank with a really neat sea beta. And so I absolutely love the ocean. Spent time in the Navy. I love the ocean. And there's a story about a woman and her child who were walking along the beach, and there was a major storm. And because of this storm, it washed tens of thousands of sea stars onto the shore. And the girl was like, Mom, we got to do something. And she's like, what impact can you make? And she just was running out there. She picked one up and she was throwing it in the water. She'd go pick up another one, throw it in the water. She'd pick up another one, throw it in the water, pick it up and throw it in the water. And her mom stopped her and says, look at me. You can't make an impact. There's too many. And she held one up and she showed it to her mom. And she goes, no, Mom, I can make an impact for this one. And then she threw it in the water. She picked it up. I can make an impact for this one, and threw it in the water. So we can have an impact. We may not be able to make an impact all in all, but if we can change the mindset, if we can change or prevent bad information on one person, then we can make an impact. And I know that a lot of people are like, well then, you do this and then, they just poo-poo the idea. But we have the opportunity to really change some things. We just have to stand up and take action. This is one of the reasons that if you see a lot of the shorts that I'm putting out right now, I'm calling out bad information. This is what we're looking at, folks. This is what it really is. If this is happening, one starfish at a time, exactly. If you're looking at these particular things and you're saying, hey, this is wrong, or hey, I would really like to see this, you know what? Letters to your senator make an impact. A lot of people say, I know they don't. They do, actually. And if we get enough people in the hobby to actually start reaching out and asking people for certain things, we might be able to see some changes happen. Because remember, all of these things have to happen through legislation. The Jackie Robinson coin that's about to come out, it happened because one of our Texas representatives decided that it was a good idea. He had some people petition him, and so he put the bill together, ran it through, and it got approved. How do you get those things in front of those people? You put it in front of the lawmakers. The lawmakers are the ones that make the designs on the coins. They're the ones that approve the elements that are there. Then they go to the artisans. The artisans design it, and then it goes to committee. So if we have people who are interested in this, we got to get the law first on our side to allow us to create those elements. How do we do that? Write your senators, write your congresspeople, reach out, go to meetings like the CAC. And obviously when you're in the CAC, you can't put comments in because they turn comments off. But listen to the information and then write your representatives. Paul is a representative for Conecuh for her state. Find out who your state representatives are. Reach out to them. Hey, what can we do? Who do I write letters to? How do we do this? How do we gain a little thing? And so engagement in the community is what's going to make a difference. And so, you know, I am not going to be the person who changes all of numismatics for the United States. But if I can be a source of information and provide people or link people to people who can do that, then maybe I can be a change for one person. Maybe I can save one person from buying a crap counterfeit coin. Maybe I can be the person who imports information into somebody's life that they realize something and they speak to somebody and they're the ones that affect thousands of people. I'm looking to help the one. And hopefully you guys can come alongside of me and help me do that. I know that Eric feels the same. I know that Paula feels the same. I know that Mike and Chuck feel the same. And again, you all have an amazing opportunity to impact more than you think. We just got to come together and do that. So you're saying we got a chance of putting Groucho Marx on the $100 bill. No,
if you don't write a letter, no.
If you don't, yeah, well,
letter, yes.
Is Groucho Marx going to make it on our currency? Probably not. But could he make it on a commemorative coin? Yeah. Could we get old representations of liberty? Again, you know, one thing that that I felt was kind of a travesty initially was having a tree as the representation of liberty. And then I go back and I look throughout history and realize that from Maine in the 1600s, the tree, the solidarity, stood for strength. It's been on coinage since the 1600s. I just wasn't aware of the full history of that. And so it's important that I bring you history. It's important that I talk to you guys about that stuff. This is why I want to do that, because without this, we can't be informed. And if we can't be informed, we can't make good decisions. And if we can't make decisions that are good for our hobby, then those people who would seek to destroy it with misinformation and malfeasance get the upper hand. So we have to take action. We have to do something in order to grow our hobby. So why do I do this? Well, again, vote. Go to the ANA. Talk with them. If you want to know who some of these people are, email them and ask. Find out what's going on, right? Look at the history. See what they've done. Look at the articles that they've written. If you see somebody on there that has a name, but you can't find any articles, you can't find any history about them, consider looking for somebody who's done a little bit more for the hobby, right? Let's find people that are engaged. And if you want to know who these people are, ask. And let's see if we can't find something. So the opportunity is there. The nominations just opened 2 days ago, so you've got some time. But go check it out. If you want to look at the candidates, they're listed here. You simply click on this area here, and it brings up those people. It doesn't really give you much information regarding anything about them, but if you look at some of the names that are on there, you can search those and find out. We can always ask and see. I'm sure Chuck probably knows 2 or 3 people on there. So we can ask, and we'll find out. So if you guys are interested in this, reach out, let me know. If you guys want to vote, please do so. And speaking of doing that, I am going to give away an ANA membership. So I want you guys, if you're here, I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to put stuff in chat. Be talking. Oh, that's the American Nurses. Hold on. Is that the wrong one? Yeah, that's the wrong one. Son of a gun. Hold on. I'm glad you did that. Thank you. Where's the American?
Right there, third one down.
Oh, that's
Lecture
National
time.
Advertisers. There we go.
Here, I'm trying to click.
There we go. Okay. Thank you. I didn't even realize, Kevin, I was on the wrong one. Thank you for doing that. Link is in chat. There you go. Appreciate it. There's the election. And so the nominees are there. You know, I work in the medical field, so I'm just used to the ANA being the nurses one. So I look at both of them. But good catch, by the way. But you can see the people that are there. You can see the various people that are open, so you guys can go look at that. But good catch, by the way. So be putting stuff in chat. And again, I will run, I'm going to give away an ANA membership. I purchase about 20 of these every year to give away. I appreciate that, Kevin. Thanks, brother. Because again, I want to support the hobby and I want to engage people. If you have somebody that's youth that's interested in coins, consider giving it to them. It's a really cool thing to do. Again, I just like doing that. So let's make sure that that you do that. They print your name up in a book. I have no idea what that was. I think I've missed part of the conversation. So again, you guys got another minute. We're going to be wrapping this up. Again, Eric, is Chuck doing anything today?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him, so I know I can't. I was supposed to do one, and I have to go help my daughter move.
I got you. Sundays are my wife and I days, so we go out, we'll grab lunch and go hang out and do some stuff. So I'll probably be back later on. Go check out. There's a bunch of people coming on today. Coin Crew will be on. I know there's some stuff on later tonight. I can't remember who all is on. I'll have to check. Sunday's usually family day, so it's hard for me to do too much on Sundays. That was something that I had a long talk with my wife, and she's like, "Look, we need Sundays for family." So,
and she's not wrong.
No, well, I could spend all day, every day. As your Paula is dealing with some family issues. There was a passing in her family, and she needs to be there for her family. And so she's not gone. She pops into chats and still doing some stuff, but right now she's focusing on that. So appreciate you asking for her. I talk to her pretty frequently. So I'm sure she's probably in the chat, but she's focusing on her family and trying to get things taken care of. So send her some well wishes and wish her the best. So yeah, Ajir, that's very nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people miss her, and so she's okay. She's going through some stuff. So, but we'll let everybody know that y'all love her and that you've been thinking about her. So I'll make sure that information gets passed on. All right, so let's go ahead and draw this. And again, let's make sure. So this will pull up in either chat, so it doesn't matter which chats you've been in. As long as you've been in, you have the opportunity to win. And the wiener is the Acadian Carpenter. Outstanding.
Nice.
Very engaged lately in the channel, so I want to thank you for that. Exclamation point email. You'll see the email, so do me a favor. Please go here and yeah, absolutely. Please go here. You'll see that show up. Go in and say, hey, I won on. I've seen stuff on you, but make sure you go in. Send me an email with information. I will reply on exactly what needs to happen and the lady that you need to talk to secure that membership. And you should get that later on today. All right, brother. Hey, I want you to be careful. Enjoy yourself. Take care. Don't hurt your back today while you're helping your daughter.
Oh, I'm not doing no heavy lifting. We're just watching kids while they heavy lift.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, you don't want to be down on your back again.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for having me, and I will see everybody soon.
All right, take care, brother. All right, folks. Well, again, Sunday's Chit Chat is just that. It's to talk about a bunch of different things. We've talked about some pretty cool things today. Again, Mike, I will be sending you an email as soon as I end this. Got a couple ideas for a future episode if you guys are interested. I think you'll like this idea. For you guys that have been here, thank you so much for the channel support. I got one new subscriber during this stream, so thank you so much for that. I definitely appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a community of a bunch of people from a bunch of different lanes. Kindness matters. Show somebody some kindness during the week. Let them know you're there for them. Reach out to somebody. Take care. Be well, be blessed. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the streams.